Hey guys, I've been getting a lot of questions lately about my previous video. It was the Ultimate Bisque Musket Guide. Obviously, it's a very expensive build, and that's totally understandable. Not everyone can afford that. So a few dudes asked me if I could do a cheaper musket build, something that's still quite competitive. So I've gone ahead and done that, and we'll go through it now. Basically, what I did is I just went and bought sort of all the pieces off the trading post. I wanted to make sure they all had resilient and correct perks and just everything you need. I've also got two really good muskets that you can farm towards the end we'll talk about, and one of them's very close to Biss, so some free options there. I originally wanted to keep the price of the build under 10k, but I couldn't. The cheapest I could keep it under was 15k, so we'll just get right into it. The first piece of gear is the light hat. 15 int, 9 dex, critical retribution and resilient. I think it's a really good pickup, and I managed to score that for 500 gold. So that's really nice. Our second piece of gear was the medium chest. 15 con, 9 int, with physical aversion and resilient. And I managed to get that for 200 gold, so that was a pretty good price, I feel like. Our next piece was probably, I feel like, the best price I got in here. It was 24 dex, resilient, crippling powder burn. And I managed to score that for 2,500, and I was feeling pretty lucky about that because the next one above it was like 3,800, or it was close to 4k, so I felt like we got a good price there. And then we go to the pants. I was actually quite surprised at how cheap this was, because when we looked on stream, we did see a couple that were like around 50 gold, 60 gold, but they were all medium, and most of them were around 200 gold, so on average. So I ended up scoring this for 40 gold, and it is 590 gear score, so you can upgrade it to 600 and above, so that's awesome. Shirking Energy and Resilient, which I think is two great perks right now. And the next one we've got are the light shoes. I just want to note that I do know, yeah, it is con, and that's not great, but this was literally the only thing on the marketplace with these two perks, so I thought might as well just buy it, you know, complete the set, because there was nothing else in this category with Resilient, Empowered Shooter stance and con, so and dex, so that's okay. But we did manage to buy this for 5,663 gold, so a little bit expensive, but it is what it is. You know, if I was you, I wouldn't have bought this. If like you see this on the marketplace, I would wait till you see like a dex version or an int version. I guess you could even buy maybe like Empowered Shooter stance, maybe like an aversion. I did check for the aversions, both versions, and there was nothing. So, but you might be lucky and get something like that on your server. So, all the best to you if you get it. Next thing on the list was our amulet. That's this one here. So a health and thrust protect, and 15 int, 9 con, and 599 gear score, so pretty solid. And we got that for 2,500. I also did check on New World Database to see if there were any health thrust protect drops, and there were none, unfortunately. But that's okay. So that's the best what we got for that. The next thing was our ring. Surprisingly, they're very expensive for Mortal Empowerment, because the craft mods for these, you can only get them in the PvP track. So, and you can't trade them either, so you've pretty much got to be a dual crafter and get them and craft, so that's why they're so expensive right now. But that's got Sacred on it, which is not good, obviously. We did on stream look at ones that had Mortal Empowerment Keen Awareness, like just a really good 2-perker. However, the cheapest one we could find on there was 40k, so wasn't going to pay that, to be honest. That would blow our budget right out. But that's still fine. You could still run that and gain your stacks up in a war. Like it's just, I feel like Mortal Empowerment is just mandatory for wars right now, and even for OPR. The next thing we've got is our earring. So 24 int, refreshing toast and purifying toast. Just a really solid earring. Refreshing toast just brings your potions up on cooldown, and purifying toast is just great for removing debuffs like poison from bow or powder burn or any bleeds like that. That was 500 gold, and I just forgot that we paid for this ring. We paid 2,900 for this ring, so cheapest we could get it. And that's all the armor. Now we'll go into the weapons. So for the weapons, we've got the one everyone knows, so Infamy, Enchanted, Keen, Vicious, which is a great musket, great starting musket, easy to farm too, super easy to farm, and you get it from the Genesis dungeon from the first boss. And we got a guy over here farming Nasha. So this is the second the second musket I was going to talk about, and that is Keen Enchanted Keenly Jagged, and that's called the Iron Bark Blaster, and that is a top tier musket, and you get it from this guy, Nasher, in Ebb and Scale right here. So come here and farm him. I'm not sure how this guy's doing it. He's like bugging it out or something. Usually it runs around and really kind of does a lot of damage. So I would bring a team of 5 or with a healer and a tank and farm him. He's on about like a 5-minute respawn, so he's pretty quick. And I've already done 20 kills of him on stream, and no luck getting the drop, or anyone in my group either. But I can confirm I have seen the drop in global chat and spoken to the guy. He said he got it in 20, so it's all just down to luck, I guess. The other thing we'll talk about is a rapier you can farm. So obviously, if you could, you can't be spending some big money on something like this. So there is a rapier called Final Respite, and you do get it from Lazarus Dungeon. Sundering Repose, Vicious and Keen, really solid rapier, and another free option. So yeah, so that's all we got for that. I would like to say too that if you come by my stream, we are going to give this away, all this gear that I bought, in the next couple days, maybe on Sunday, Saturday night, who knows. But yeah, we'll give this all away to someone. We'll roll a dice or something like that, and we'll just give it away. So, but just remember, you got to be on server Delos to get it. All right, that's it, guys. Cheers.